We're getting ready to head to the auction. You have your different groups to be in, and from the time we get to the auction, we're going to be in our groups. We're not going to be all mingling together. We don't want to be walking through the auction in a group of all these large people and we're all chatting and everything together. We want to keep it low-keyed. We don't want to be like loud and boisterous. And you stay with your organizations and your mentors. And we're also wanting to make sure that we're not out there just taking photos everywhere. We're being respectful of everyone. And if you see something really hard, you know, we see really emaciated horses at this auction a lot. We just kind of need to internalize it. We do have the chat group where we can message and still all talk to each other. But once we get our feet on the ground, we're not going to be in a large group. We're going to be splitting off. Our rescue teams tonight are Bonded by Strength Equine Rescue in Pennsylvania, and Jason is with them.
Woo-hoo! Yeah! The
second group is Hooker Ranch Equine Refuge, and they are with Colorado, but today is Carrie's 1-year anniversary of cancer surviving. So Pete is gonna swift her away at the auction, so we won't see her. She's gonna go have some fun with her husband and go do some fun activity. And our last team is Lazy Bee Equine Rescue and Sanctuary with ponytails. And we're really excited about that. Let's head to the auction. We'll get our feet on the ground and we'll go save some horses tonight. Pete and Carrie just headed off. They're actually not going to be going to the auction with us. Today is Carrie's 1-year anniversary of surviving cancer, so they're going to go have a little fun together and meet us up later.
What in the world? Something's not right. We're here. What in the world? Where's all the trucks and trailers?
And in recent months, horse DNA was found in what was supposed to be beef products.
This is what's most controversial. Every year, thousands of live horses are fresh, raw horse meat.
You question everything about yourself. Are you really making an impact? Are you really helping animals?
Every wonderful thing that has happened, every horrible thing that has happened, started with one person.
All it takes is one person, and then another, and another, and another.
We're not doing this for us. We're doing it for them. The truth, it's about the horses. I'm a strong believer that one person can make a difference. Together, we can make a change.
We pulled into the auction and got the news that there were no horses selling tonight, which is a huge disappointment for y'all. We know you wanted to bid on horses tonight, and we had a great plan, but tomorrow we still have horses to intake that were rescued from the same auction. So auctions don't tell us, like, you know, their Facebook page didn't say what was happening. Things happen. So disappointing, but we will still have horses to intake that were from this auction. Nate and Cindy are going to get together and do some mentoring, exclusive mentoring with you all, and they are amazing folks, what they've done with this philosophy and this program, and how they've grown it in their social media presence. And I know the organization has changed a lot since the first day. Pick her brain on, you know, imagine like your organization growing pretty significantly, where you have employees, you have these different scenarios. Pick her brain on that. So we're gonna head back to the organization, get a good night's rest, and be ready for y'all to show up tomorrow, but we're definitely leaving you in amazing hands, so. On the spot.
We came out to see all of our rescue friends that we met at the workshop. This week is boot camp, so we came to visit with everybody. We're so grateful that we have this network of people to rely on as rescues. We should be working together instead of against each other, so it's pretty amazing.
My name is Gunnar, and I am the Assistant Director at Lazy Equine Rescue and Sanctuary. My question is for Ponytails. I wanted to know, through all the years of doing the Horse Plus system, what have you found has worked, and what have you found that has not worked compared to Horse Plus's model? Is there anything in specific that you found you're like, well, this doesn't work for our particular situation?
I honestly, I can't really think of anything they suggested that hasn't worked. I think some things for them work better for them than it does for us, probably because of, honestly, the way they're implementing it. I'm terrible at emails, getting the emails out to people. And I think if I was better at that, things would be even better for us. I don't know, I guess, if they still even suggest a lot of the same things, because things have changed with them too. Obviously, they're twice the size now than they were 4 years ago.
What did you take the most away from your mentoring from Horse Plus, and why did it help your organization so much?
Basically running it like a business. It is a nonprofit, but it is still a business, and you have to always look at your bottom line. And if you're running out of funds, you don't have the funds, you can't bring that horse in. As much as you want to, you can't save them all, because if you bring them in and you're going under and you don't have the money to take care of them, you have no business bringing that horse into your facility, because you're not doing it any favors at that point.
I'm Laura from Bonded by Strength Equine Rescue. This is kind of towards all of you, a little bit more in depth. We learned a lot at the mentorship program. What did you guys take from your social media accounts? Did you see growth from all of them, or did you stick with one? And how has that worked for you?
So after the workshop, Kelsey and I really ramped up our Facebook posts, telling the story of the horses. We started attending more auctions, just kind of like doing the mission, just like heads down, just doing the mission and posting about it, telling the story. And we just saw money coming in, and it was like this is working, just keep doing it, keep telling the story, even if it's a reel or a picture, or, Kelsey and I have tried to start sitting down and just having just talking to our followers, us sitting next to each other, just talking about what we did that day.
So I don't do normal YouTube videos of this is what we're doing today, and it's not the kind of person I am, and that's one thing that just doesn't work with me. Like TikToks, I make TikToks or small reels on Facebook all the time, and definitely the reels get a lot of likes, like little short reels. Like we had I had a mare that basically rolled and the fly mask fell off, and I think I got 1,000 people on one reel in the day. And then the next day I had like a little reel during the sunset of our horses just opened our gate and got out and was just eating random stuff. And I think within the time I went to bed, it was like 600, and it was like in the 2 hours. Realize what routine works for you and what you can accomplish so that you can continue to do it, rather than, well, I'm going to do this, and then 4 months later it's not happening, and your followers are like, well, what happened to that? So just realize what you're capable of.
There's another big thing about that online presence too, especially in the horse community, is a lot of horse owners know exactly the right way. And so you may get a lot of negative feedback. Like, she had a TikTok that was like 1 million views, and there's always going to be those comments, and just nobody's ever right all the time.
The comments are getting, they're great, and then you get one nasty, and they're great, and then you get another nasty. But then it gets where like our followers who have been with us for a really long time come in to like guard and protect.
Your goal is to save horses. Let them be who they want to be.
What is your biggest challenge day to day? And then my other question is, how do you foster volunteer involvement with your organization?
So as far as what our biggest challenge is finding volunteers. Actually trying to get volunteers has been one of the hardest things to do. There's also a rescue near us that does volunteers thing, and I think she put such a bad rap on volunteering that people don't want to try. Or we'll have people who will come out for a day, and then they're like, oh, it's 45 minutes to the closest town.
Or it's hard work.
Exactly.
Yeah, cleaning pens is not glamorous.
Carrie has boots on the ground. She's always busy. Pete's always taking care of stuff. I have a full-time job. Christine has a full-time job. So it's trying to find the time to get those volunteers and to train them. So it is rough. I think, honestly, if you can come up with like an event once a month and say, hey, we're gonna do this, and give them the fun part of volunteering, but a little bit of the hard stuff, and every time they come, be like, well, we're gonna groom all these horses, but let's go and clean this stall first. So it's kind of like, here, we're gonna reward you with this, but you gotta do hard work.
We've noticed that a lot of the best volunteers are teenage girls. They love it. We have a few that practically live at our house because their parents just sit in the driveway and just wait. And I go out and I'm like, yeah, they're still back there. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but they're still back there. A lot of homeschool families need activities for their kids to do during the day. So we have a couple of families that a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids, and they come out and they feed and they clean stalls and clean waters, and the kids love it, and they get their activity for the day out of there.
How do you guys deal with compassion fatigue, or how do you get back to yourselves for compassion fatigue and your volunteers or employees?
Basically, I'm very lenient about where if they're just like, I need the day off, or I'm going to be late, I got to get a little more sleep, or anything like that. I'm really, really flexible as far as that goes, even as far as just time off in general.
Be realistic with yourself. If you are not enjoying what you are doing, leave for a little bit. Because Carrie's like, oh, we should give that one another shot. I'm like, euthanize it. I'm like, we have too many. Yeah. And I was becoming hard-hearted. And I did not like that about myself. So I'm actually gonna step back now. I also did find hobbies. I do stupid hobbies, but it works out. Find a hobby, make yourself an area for yourself where you can go hide in that little area.
We obviously had a baby, got married, and we're still doing the rescue, and I went back to work, and he works a full-time job. So like we were getting so burnt out where like we would sit in bed and not even like interact with each other, right? And you get to that point of just, you're going through life, you're going through the motion, and Austin went, we need to enjoy life. So we played disc golf. We've gone to 4 different courses just being here in Tennessee. We just take the time to do that. Once things get too easy to not do or too easy to do, like saying, I'm tired of this horse, it should just be euthanized, or, this horse has one little issue, we should euthanize it, or just being like, well, this adopter wants this crazy horse, and I know it's not ready for adoption, but I need it out of here. And if you even think of that, or if you even think of a horse being euthanized because it has, thrown a shoe, you need to stop.
I've had a lot of compassion fatigue training because of being a 911 dispatcher. We had it every 6 months. And I know rescue is different than what 911 is. This is our life. Half of the rescues are at our homes. It's hard to say, I'm gonna walk in the house and I'm gonna forget about this for 24 hours. You can't do it when it's on your property. But you have to. It's dinner time, go have dinner, forget about the rescue, forget about the horses, concentrate on your family or TV show or something. Just walk away and don't think about it. I had to get with 911 is when I walked out the door, it stopped. Because I was taking stuff home. And it was killing my family. So you just have to walk in the house and that's it.
We're gonna start our intake process. These were horses that came in from an auction and we were so swamped. It was such an emotionally draining auction. There were so many horses that need humane euthanasia, and these were the stable ones, and we're like, we're just gonna let them rest and us rest. So today we're gonna be doing their intake. They have been seen by a vet, so we have a good idea of what's going on. We'll be diving in a little bit further in diagnostics and such on the different horses and giving everyone the opportunity of practicing intaking horses.
So all the horses that we need are already up here. So we're gonna start by bringing the first group around the back side. We're gonna have one horse in the chute at a time and one horse, no more than one horse out here at a time. I have the checklist. They'll be each getting microchip, 5-way, Quest Plus, ProBios, and electrolytes. Check with me before you give them anything because some of them have already gotten things, especially microchips. Most of them are already microchipped. So we're ready to get started, so we can bring the first group around.
Corey and Pete want to be the handlers back there.
Oh, look, there you go. Good boy. 1,230-ish. He's still good.
Good job.
1,230, but very underweight.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
They're very heavy. Nate, if you want to pick it up, you can feel how heavy that is. Of course, it's not that heavy for you, but it's heavy. Patient name, we just put in the number, which his number is?
Horse Plus number 1408.
So 1408. For this x-ray machine, weight and breed is important because it calculates for that animal of what the calculation should be for that area that's being x-rayed.
Our intake always includes dental. Everything goes in the stocks, gets sedated,
And
we
gets
check
dental
teeth over
immediately?
very thoroughly. We do like the first interaction we have with them.
Yeah.
They're, we've got the vet looking in their mouth, making sure that we don't need to do anything teeth-wise because they'll gain so much faster if we get on top on that. When they're sedated, have their teeth done, you can get a really good look at absolutely everything that's going on with the horse.
And is it just the top? I'm not tall enough to get you.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
Oh, okay.
Great, perfect.
And the temperature as well.
99.9, so he's got a good temp. It's just a 1 mil. So I'll let you work on it. Are you familiar with these?
Nope.
Okay, well, do you want me to show you the first time and I'll let you do the next one?
Yeah. I mean, we have...
For these ones, you just take the needle off and I really love these because they're kind of like suctioned.
Yeah. Oh, that's way easier.
So it's just 1 mil. So you kind of have to, because it's suctioned, you kind of have to hold it in place while you twist it off.
take it out, yeah.
So it's kind of a little tricky.
Did you see this, Gunnar?
So it can be easy to accidentally get too much or too little.
Yeah,
so
instead
like,
of having to put the needle in it and...
Yeah, so Yeah, so you can like see that when I pulled it off, it kind of sucked in a little bit. So I have to, if you can get it just right, you can hold it in place like while you untwist it. It's kind of tricky.
Okay.
So that just goes IM. I usually like to, you've probably given vaccines before. I like to pinch and then poke to kind of distract them.
And you guys are super familiar with like your triangle that you're looking for and all that?
Yeah, we go below that. Above
Beautiful.
that, right?
Beautiful.
Right there, that works.
I'm too short. I keep putting my hands under here, but that's a really poor choice.
Just do your
Okay,
best.
buddy,
You'll
you
be all
ready?
right.
If I can get you there.
He is quite tall.
I hesitated. There's too much pressure.
Just do it.
Too much pressure. There's people watching. There's
There
a
you go.
camera.
Yep, I know.
Pull back a little bit. Make sure you don't have blood, and then
we go.
Beautiful.
There you go. Nice.
Boy.
That's it.
His skin is still.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that you would generally want to note on an intake.
Okay.
You know, if you've got a horse that is, and I mean, sometimes on their neck it's not always the best indicator, but on this horse, I mean
you can pull it off.
Really indicating that this horse is at least somewhat dehydrated.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah.
Always something worth noting in your intake notes.
Our intake process is, it's not, we don't do everything right away. It's we bring them in, we let them decompress a little. I mean, we vaccinate them when we worm them, usually right away, but I mean.
And see, we don't even vaccinate right away, which is just, I mean, it's just our own personal process, because we do see a lot of vaccine reactions, especially in senior horses and stuff like that. And we kind of specialize in older horses.
Yeah.
So we generally try to give them time to acclimate and make sure that we don't already possibly have a present fever or a present infection, because vaccinating on top of that can really compound a situation into a bad one. So we generally wait past that.
These we give a half tube because we just follow the instructions. Even if it's a large horse, it's just probios, so it's not gonna hurt them. And then the dewormer, we usually just give the whole tube because they usually spit some out anyway.
Yeah.
So
Usually. Are you gonna do any of this?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Yeah.
You set the whole tube on this.
Yeah, the whole thing for that one.
the electrolytes is kind of thick too, so it can take a little bit of effort to get it up in there.
Okay, here, you got him. And a whole Quest Plus and a half of this bad boy.
Yep. Yeah, the only time we would dose a dewormer is if it's like a smaller horse.
So are we missing just top, or are we low on bottom too?
Top right, over here.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously, I mean, this is going to be a senior horse just because of our dental situation.
Yeah, I think he's missing, isn't he missing an incisor? That was our main thing. Yeah, it's worn down.
It's so worn on incisors.
Yeah. Very worn down.
Now, it's worth noting on him that likely the fact that he is a little bit parent-mouthed may have something to do.
He is 17-1.
17-1.
Oh, I was very...
Oh, everybody was...
17-1? Man, I would have guessed higher. I guess it's the extra of the scale.
Yeah, he's 17-1.
He can come out.
Yeah, we're ready for him.
We don't see a lot of draft horses, so just... I'm not sure exactly like what would be considered normal
One
size,
of the best way to determine that is obviously you want to be safe about getting behind him, but just comparing side to side from behind.
Well, and even
is this hawk larger than this hawk?
His cannon bone, he's got a, it looks kind of wonky and has a lump to it. But I mean, his footlocks are huge anyways, but.
So you're looking down at his feet. Keep looking. I haven't heard what I'm looking for yet.
Okay.
Well, and if you look at him from straight on and you're looking at these back legs, are you seeing anything else that's concerning?
This is a trick question. I mean, he has a scar, but also in the back right. Generally looking at him, he holds himself, is that normal for drafts to hold themselves up in the hips, kind of sunk in like that?
Does anyone here think his withers might be a little abrupt?
Yeah, that's what we were just looking at.
That's what we were just guessing.
So that's what I wanted to x-ray as soon as I saw him. Basically, you're gonna hold the plate like this. I like to start doing the back first because my arms get tired, and then I can do the legs later. So you're gonna hold it like this and move over and hold it like this. You wanna move about 8 inches at a time, and we're just gonna go all the way down. On earth is doing that? On the same position. Sometimes they get shot, and they have Let's move it over here just a little bit. I'm just trying to get an idea if something's wrong with. I mean, it's just doing where the bones are, so. Let's go over about 8 inches. So bizarre. Somebody shot him with shotgun. So let's move him back a little bit and we can gather everyone over. What do you think we're starting to see there?
Is that buckshot?
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
That's not BB gun, that's a shotgun.
No way.
That's buckshot.
It looks
Wow.
like buckshot. For organizations like Ponytails is getting an x-ray machine. We couldn't tell his story without doing those x-rays. And that's why it's like, do all the x-rays you can on a horse, because then you can tell their story. Like, hey, this horse had gotten shot with birdshot. That is the most important thing for an organization having an x-ray machine, is that's not normal. And then the vet can figure it out. Tell people to take their horse to the vet, get it thoroughly evaluated. And x-rays are usually the last thing done, and that's what I really, really am thankful that we have the ability to x-ray, because then we know right off the bat. And we can tell the adopters. And this poor horse got shot by buckshot in his x-rays. We can see it, and they're like, they connect with that animal even more.
And that's not even why we were looking at the
That's not
x-rays.
why-
We were looking at the x-rays because the horse feels like he's got bony changes in the withers, and then...
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna x-ray one leg with you all, and then we're gonna swap out, just because he's probably gonna be our nicest x-ray specimen that's safe. I feel pretty safe around him. Before we do his legs, we're gonna do his face, and we're gonna see how bad his teeth are inside. You're gonna come on, probably, the side the gunner's on. There's several you can look through.
It looks like a train wreck in there.
Corey said he's over 25, and then he said 28. Oh, yikes.
Gosh.
Oh my goodness, look at this back here.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have much
Right
left.
here.
Look how like thin that is. That's like another year or two and he'd
So what would happen if you floated his teeth?
They'd all come out.
Anything left?
I mean, there's not much to float. Right.
This tooth is broken.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like,
Yeah.
That's
So you can take the edges off, but
So then one at a time, go look at his front teeth.
look at that.
yeah, they're rough. Do we think his teeth problems are already affecting him?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do we think that's why his weight could be how it is?
Oh yeah.
Major priority, yeah.
Our vet already looked at him and it's like, from his teeth, there's nothing we can do. Unfortunately.
Because we can't make those roots grow back. Like we can't make the teeth keep growing if there's no roots left.
His teeth are very messed up. You open his mouth, you can smell how terrible it is.
He's already lost body condition.
So he's a horse that we have to look at and be like, would it be fair to adopt this horse out to somebody knowing that he hardly has any teeth left? His teeth are already falling out of his head. He's already having health problems because of his teeth. And that's where, like the vet has already looked at him. He's got major teeth problems. She recommended humane euthanasia because of his teeth. Now, is he an amazing, sweet horse? Yes. He's an awesome, awesome, sweet horse. Giving him a couple weeks here to be loved and relax and, get time with people and in a herd and not be forced to do anything. That's great that we can give him that gift. So you have a horse that most likely was an Amish horse. At some point, buckshot entered his body from everything we can tell, and his teeth are falling out. And we haven't even kept x-raying.
Haven't gotten to his legs yet.
We haven't even gotten to his legs yet. So we're gonna go ahead and start with his feet, and we'll go ahead and have you all help one more time with one foot, and then we'll alternate through. Okay. All right, so let's back him up just a little bit. Everyone come look at this x-ray. As rescuers, if you are at a position to get your own x-ray machine, you need to know what doesn't look normal. We don't know what it is, we're not vets. Doesn't look normal, it's when you send it to the vet. So tell me what doesn't look normal there. there's like, he's got navicula, he's got this, he's founder. We can't say that as lay people. We can say something looks wrong. Does this area look kind of feathery, like moth-eaten a little bit? What usually causes that is arthritis.
Yeah, and kind of coralizing of the bone remodification, trying to repair itself.
Like that doesn't look normal. We know buckshot doesn't look normal.
Yeah.
Arthritis doesn't look normal. And wonky teeth don't look normal. Like you're able to dive so much more into the reasonings why these things need to happen. The veterinarian has already looked at this horse and recommended humane euthanasia because of his teeth. He also has arthritis, and then we found that it appears he's been shot with bird shot or buckshot. So we've given him a good 2 weeks here, and it will be time to say goodbye to him, and that is a hard part of rescue, but we always have to do what's best for each and every animal as an individual. Somebody might be like upset, but like if we didn't get him, he's a prime candidate for going to Mexico. He's not as fat as they'd like, but he still has a lot on him. And rescuing these horses, finding out, like we might have rescued him, found out he's perfect, he's totally fine, let's find him a home. That's the goal. But if there's medical problems that are chronic and not gonna get better, that's what we have to look at and be responsible. Just like an owner bringing a horse to a vet, there would be no judgment. Just thank you so much for doing the right thing for your horse.
Let's zero the scale actually before we bring it in so we can have an accurate weight.
I'd rather not pull from the front and pull his head up. Normally I would push from behind.
There we go.
Yeah, that's why.
Once his head is past that, it's not as, it's a little bit better. You want me to try?
No, I get it. I'm not a huge one on like there. That's why. Normally I don't put a lot of pressure from the front. We just give it that much?
Or you want to get a whole tube. That one will be a half tube, so you can open it all the way up. And then the Quest Plus, we need a whole tube also. Okay. Yep, you can get those 3. Want to try to pull this up?
Yes, I actually did it yesterday.
Oh, you did it? Okay,
Yeah.
great. So you already know how this one works.
Yep.
Yeah, just 1 mil.
Yeah, there's lots of bubbles in there.
Yeah, just do your best. Here you go. Here's your needle.
This is IM.
It is.
Yes.
It is. So you'll just go in that.
Yep, in the V.
Yep. There you go.
Laura's really good at this.
Usually we'll pull back to make sure we don't get blood.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't want blood when we're doing IM, but that's okay. You can go ahead and finish the orals.
I want you all to watch this horse walk away and come back. Just watch him walk, see if we can see what's wrong with him. Bring him back.
I see his hips going to the right when he walks.
So yeah, Texas, Pennsylvania, Utah. What do you guys see?
I'm seeing his hips going to the right.
What is that from?
To me, it's a little neurological.
Okay. So we actually had a horse in the same body score, same everything that we put probably 1.5 years of feed in. And we were like, maybe it's just because he's weak, maybe this, but he would like literally run sideways. Like he would lope off and his legs would be going like this. And finally we just kind of make the choice. Oh, you're okay. So
you pull him, he's gonna be neurological.
Yeah, so
You're gonna
basically,
pull him in, yeah, he's gonna
if
fall
I can
over.
pull a horse to the side like that,
Yeah.
he's so weak that it's not right on the horse and it's extremely dangerous. Like he should, see how he kind of just rocks
He's
underneath
not pulling
himself?
against you.
He's not at all. So like I shouldn't be able to pull a horse like this. Like obviously if we're getting him on a block and sometimes you can pull a horse kind of a little bit, but like I could probably pull this horse over. So good boy, sorry, I know.
So if you draw blood, he could have EPM.
He could have EPM, he could just be, I mean, some horses are just neurologic.
He could have a break in his neck.
It's a lot of issues.
So why do we think he ended up at the auction? Why do you think he ended up at the auction? He's not a usable animal, is why he got dumped. His owners found, oh, this horse has an issue, I'm gonna dump him at an auction.
And this horse has been in use.
Yeah.
I mean, this horse is still wearing a shoe.
He's sore, but beyond that, you could tell he's walking crooked down the driveway.
When he steps, he's trying to find the ground.
What would happen to this horse if a horse trader bought him at auction? So maybe the kill buyer doesn't get him, he's too skinny, but what if a horse trader buys him?
He would go to another sale.
He might go to another sale. Do you think he would look decent to the untrained eye, tacked up, being ridden around, and sell him to some ignorant family, and they start realizing something's off? Their horse friend is like, whoa, your horse is like all over the place on a trail ride. They take him to the vet. They find out he has all these problems. Then what happens to the horse? If they are responsible people, hopefully they would euthanize him. They would probably contact the horse trader very upset. Is the horse trader used to having people contact him very upset? It's no big deal. He's like, yep, and he'll probably recommend, well, you can take him to the sale. And when the horse comes through again, he could get picked up by another horse trader, or maybe he'll be fatter by then and the kill buyer is like, yeah, I want this horse. So when these horses have these medical problems, it all falls down to the owners not doing the right thing. Like, somebody had this horse, I'm sure he wasn't born like this, somebody had him, he started having problems, they turn it off to somebody else, the other person realizes they can't handle it, gets turned off to someone else, and ultimately it could end up in a meat market. Like, I mean, he was at auction. Now, our vet did look at him and she did recommend euthanasia for him. Horses in the slaughter pipeline desperately need rescues out there, rescuing regardless of their age, regardless of their condition, working with a vet to figure out what's wrong with them and what's the best thing for each and every horse. Any questions?
Oh, I want to pick up his shoe because it looks like he's, well, not that it's loose, it just that, I don't know if he's worn it funny or if he's just got it. Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Can I see it? Yeah, yikes.
We've had some pretty good discussions about some of the things that we have seen as far as what comes from auctions. Although I can say, despite the horrible things that we've seen at auction, we don't see anything close to what you see here in Tennessee. We do, on average, several horses a week from sales. And regardless, we don't see quite this level of health issues in horses, particularly catastrophic injuries, I think is the most shocking thing that we've seen when we've come to Tennessee. We've seen horses with coffin bones coming out the bottom of their foot. We've seen horses with compound fractures. We've seen horses that physically could not rise and were forced to get up, run through the ring, and then immediately upon leaving the ring would go back down. And that's not something that we generally see in Colorado. We do see a lot of horses in terrible physical condition as far as weight. But we don't see, like I say, the level of catastrophic injury that you guys do. But I can say that particularly in Colorado, it has become a popular place for people to vacation and things like that, that 90% of what we're seeing, especially this time of year, is going to be camp and dude horses. And those horses are so used up when they get to our place. And I'm probably gonna cry talking about Dunny. I don't know if anybody follows us on Facebook, but we lost Dunny the day before we left. I haven't posted it on Facebook. In fact, that's kind of why I'm wandering around back here. I'm working on writing a post about him. But he was a dude horse that came to us just absolutely emaciated. And that son of a gun, he would be down on the ground. We had to use a sling for him for several days and would be eating. And if you tipped a bucket on his side, would drink gallons of water and would just keep eating and was just all happy about it. But when it comes to auction rescues like that, a lot of these dude ranches use horses up so badly, and they literally ride them to the very last moment that they are capable of using them. And then the horse is dumped at auction for that last bit of profit. And we have worked very hard to establish programs in Colorado with camps and a lot of the dude ranches where they can surrender to us. We even offer a buyout on them so that the horses can come to us before they end up in this situation. And we now have 22 different lesson programs, dude ranches and summer camps that send us their retirees instead of them going to auction, because that's literally what we see at auction this time of year. The worst of them are generally camp horses, and my heart is old horses. So that's been very difficult this year. It's been really hard to see the condition of a lot of what comes through the auction there, because these are gentle, loving, well-broke horses that have given their entire lives to people. So it's hard to see that. As far as our efforts at auction, it has been really one of the more supported things that we do. When you take in owner surrenders and you ask people to help with funding on things like that, it's difficult because people think, oh, it's an owner surrender, the owner's already giving you the horse, we don't need to donate towards that cause. Whereas the auction horses, there's so much more urgency there. And really, we do see a lot more support for our auction horses, and I know you see the same thing. It's a lot easier to fundraise on the auction stuff than it is on owner surrenders and horses from happy homes. And really, it takes just as much money for me to intake horses from a happy home as it does from an auction. The main thing that I see a lot of other rescues doing is they're going in and they're like, this horse has good, clean legs, it looks sound, it's handleable, and they're going in purposely looking for those horses. I am purposely going in looking for things that are not going to make it out of there alive. I am going in there taking home horses that I know are going to be euthanasias. And that's because there is no happy ending for those horses. That's what the Full Circle of Life program is about, is you are helping the horses that don't have anyone else that's gonna help them. Those are the horses that end up in the slaughter pipeline. Those are the horses that end up on trader lots and feedlots where people hold them for ransom. That's where these horses just don't get any sort of a happy ending, except a rescue that is willing to take on horses that don't have a future. I mean, that's really something you've got to accept as a Full Circle of Life program, is we are there to help the horses that nobody else is going to help. I'll go to an auction and there'll be 5 rescues there, and not one of them is bidding on these horses. And it's just atrocious to me that they're considering these highly adoptable horses and walking right by these cases that they know that they're not going to be able to save. We have people donate and say, please don't use my donations for a horse that you know you're going to have to euthanize. And it's just shocking to me. How does that horse not deserve the love and the happy ending as much as the next horse? I mean, just because that horse's life is going to be shorter than the next horse doesn't mean that we shouldn't help that horse. It doesn't matter if I'm helping a horse for 24 hours or if I'm helping a horse for 24 years. Every horse deserves the exact same amount of attention, love, and respect. And that is all what the Full Circle of Life program is. And I am a huge supporter of this program for that exact reason, because we were not seeing it implemented anywhere in Colorado or any of the Western United States. We were just not seeing it happen. And it's very sad to see so many of these horses fall by the wayside, knowing that there was a rescue at that auction that did nothing and walked right by those horses because they were not adoptable. So this is hard. These are very sweet old horses. We're loving on all of them. They're kind, they're wonderful, they're great, and we're gonna put them all down. That's the love. That's where your love has to come into it. That's where you have to say, I love you so much, I will release you from this failing body. There's nothing we can do for you but allow you to go on to greener pastures, and that's what we're gonna do. And it sucks really bad because somebody else couldn't do it.
Somebody else should have made that decision. Like, so many of the horses we get should have never ended up in a bad situation. They end up in a horrible situation. We have the power to pull them out of that situation. And if they need humane euthanasia, we can give them that last act of kindness. And going along with the camp horses, there was recently a camp that brought this really pretty horse to auction, told some of our staff in the back before the sale, yeah, it's going lame, and that's why we're getting rid of it. In the auction ring, it sold for a high price. Everyone's like, ooh, it's a nice horse. What's gonna happen to that horse? Like, the camp knew the horse is going lame, we don't want it anymore. A responsible situation be like, this horse's body is failing it. It's falling apart. And when they went through the auction ring, do you think they said anything about it going lame? No. You get the highest price you can on that horse, you walk away. Oh, it sold above the slaughter price range. We're good. That horse is gonna be back the next week when the person finds out, oh man, this horse is really lame. And that's where we have such a broken system in the United States. And then I know, Cindy, you go to these really huge auctions. So we kind of like we have, and we're more on the East Coast, you're in the middle, and then we've got KT out in Nevada. But what are you seeing up north?
It's a lot of Amish country up by us. Drafts, standees, ponies, minis, everything, because they have their kids buying horses, trading horses, getting more horses, doing horrible things to some of the horses. They don't care. It's fun and games to them. And then when they can't do the work they want them to do, or they're not going to bring big money at the auction for them anymore, they're dumped. And they don't care. You can hear a lot of them saying, yeah, this horse just needs to go for meat, and that's all this horse is good for. And so we're there, and it's hard. I don't want to cry, but there's like a lot of them we can't even get close to, But yeah, a lot of the ones we go to, there's kill buyers. There's now a kill pen in our state, and they brag about the fact that they're the only one, and they're so great. How many horses have we gotten from them that people have bought? They've gone there and they spend $1,500 on this horse they're saying is great, and they get it, and it's sick, it's injured, it can barely move, it won't ride, it's crazy, and they're thankfully, like we're getting around in Wisconsin and Minnesota and God, Illinois, Michigan, and people they're paying all this money, putting all this money into this horse, and then paying more money to bring it to us, and I feel really bad about that, but I'm also very happy that they do it. But we do end up having to put a lot of them down because
it's really hard, and that's where within this Full Circle of Life Horse Shelter Network, we're trying to get organizations away from going and buying horses at feedlots, because it's just continuing the problem. It's enriching the kill buyers, it's enriching the horse traders, and you're spending way more for those horses, and the public too. Like, don't go there, don't support them. Support your local organizations, support the Full Circle Life Horse Shelter in your state or the nearest one next to you. Like, these are organizations out there that are boots on the ground. We're doing everything we can for these animals, even if it is the last act of kindness. We're saving them from the horrible torture that's gonna happen to them.
We don't know there's horses at our auction until the day of, so we try to go the day of, and in the past 2 auctions, the feedlot buyer actually has been there and has been bidding horses up. Last auction, I contacted Tawny because I was just so broken because I didn't know how to respond, what to do, or anything like that, because there was a dead lame Palomino that came through the lot, or came through the feedlot or the auction yard, and she bidded me up to $1,400. And I was like, in reality, like 2 weeks ago, I would have gotten that horse for $200. So I'm just trying to fight the feedlot and try to get that horse and try to do that, because there's a few horses where, like 2 weeks before that, there was 12 dude string horses, all of them dead broke, all of them super gentle, and she bid me up $800, $900, $1,200, and I was like, I have to stop at $700 or $800 because I can't pay more than that for 12 horses. That's just insane to me. And then all of a sudden, she gets there on Thursday, and all of those horses are on the feedlot page. So I have one of my followers reach out to the feedlot page and go, hey, how much for this lot? And we get all of the description of, they rode them bareback, they did great, $2,000, $1,800 off the feedlot. And that's how much they're profiting so much, because they're buying them $600 or $700 and they're selling them for $1,800. And I mean, a couple of them are lame, a couple of them are sore. And I mean, before Tawny reached out to me, I was doing it, and I've had donors give me $6,000 and I was able to save 3 horses from the feedlot. And it's like, in reality, how many horses could I have saved in the past going through that? And it's just, knowing that disgusts me. And it's just, there's so many horses going through the auction right now.
They have created this huge monster, this huge conglomerate of traders that now have, when they used to make, pennies on horses that they would actually ship, now they can make hundreds or thousands on horses they don't ever intend to ship.
Yeah, exactly. And like when they say on the page, like, oh, they ship at 9 a.m., in reality, they don't ship. Yeah, it's just going over and over again.
How many horses people rescue that determine how many horses go to slaughter. It's the demand.
Yeah.
They are always going to ship the number of horses they're contracted to ship. You're never saving anything. You're just giving them money to build these empires of being able to buy horses and outbid rescues left and right at auctions just to take them and hold them for ransom for more money to go back and fight the rescues again the next week.
Yeah, exactly. Like once the feedlot realized I stopped supporting them, I cannot tell you how many people unfollowed me or just could not believe that I wasn't willing to help these horses. So there was like this huge thing on the feedlot page, well, Rockin' KT's not working with us anymore, don't support her, don't do this. And it was like, in reality, I'm not supporting you because I shouldn't support you. Like, because my eyes are open now. Like I was so just like, well, I'm doing the right thing. And in reality, I should have gone one step backwards and gone to the auction instead, and I would have saved so many more animals, and my followers would have been able to understand it. And like I've made a post about it once or twice, and so many people just were so nasty to me. And it's like, I don't need you to follow me. Like if you're gonna be so nasty about something that you don't understand, I'm not gonna even try.
We have such a broken system in the United States when it comes to horses, and for like KT, we have kill buyers bidding against her when she gets to get these horses and give them homes, and then people are like, oh, well, I rescued this horse from the kill buyer, it's so great that he's helping, this horse, he didn't ship it, and blah, blah, blah. The kill buyer's there bidding KT up because they don't want her at the auction. So when you're supporting kill buyers at feedlots, you're really, really hurting not only the horses, but the rescues, and you're enriching the kill buyers. I've been at an auction where kill buyers came in after this auction. This lady came in, she spent $30,000 to rescue a bunch of horses. And I said, look, we can take these horses in. If there's medical problems, we do humanely euthanize. And she's like, I don't want any of them euthanized. And I'm like, we can take them. She went there without any plan. And then she didn't want them to perchance be euthanized. And this trailer pulled in and she's like, can you take some horses? And they're like, yeah, we can take them, load them up. It was the kill buyer. And I'm like, you just gave like 15 horses to a kill buyer because you didn't want them to come to an organization that was gonna work with a vet to determine if they needed euthanasia or not. And that's when the same feedlot that KT's at now was shipping a lot of horses with semis. And I'm like, and there was like 300 horses at the auction that night. And it was crazy. And they were shipping most of them. And it's just, people need to step back and look at the rescue situation and support Full Circle Life horse shelters, because we're on the boots on the ground, we're doing everything we can, and support this philosophy, because horse slaughter is just gonna continue and continue as long as everyone's supporting kill buyers and nobody is helping these horses that desperately need help. Let's get this intake done on this horse, and then we'll have 2 more after that.
Just give him a second. Let me tie him first, please.
You could try wrapping it down to give yourself a little bit of, to where it's gonna tie itself off, but that if he really yanks back, he's not gonna hurt himself.
Absolutely.
So just to put a little bit on there, usually we'll go through 2 of them.
Okay.
So just press and hold.
Kind of wave, kind of go into waving.
Yep, there you go.
And then when it beeps, it goes. There you go, perfect.
Letting us check its teeth too. Did you get a clamp? How old are you?
16.
16?
15 maybe.
I was thinking a little bit higher.
Oh. Is he good with his tail? I was gonna say look under there for melanomas.
What do you say?
Huh? Oh, called that.
Yep.
Gray horse.
Okay, so we can go ahead and give him his orals. He wants to do his vaccine. So it'll just kind of be in this area, in the muscle. And just make sure you pull back whenever you, once you get the needle in, to make sure you don't have blood. As long as you should have suction, and once you have suction, you can go ahead and do it. Yep, perfect. Pretty close to 14.3, right? Is that where we're at? Yeah. Let's say 14.3. Okay, so if y'all give him his orals, those are all there.
You want the whole tube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because usually they spit out some of it. We could try to tie down the halter and pull him closer so he can't get away, or we could try to use a squeeze chute.
That's where I was going with this. Good boy.
There you go. That was very nice.
Good job, Summer.
There you go.
Good job.
Beautiful. Good work.
All right.
That was slick.
What else does this guy need?
Good work. Good work, guys. Good work.
Had to use the chute. That's cool.
Does it beep if it finds one?
Yes.
So probably not, right?
Oh, he didn't jump. I'm surprised.
And what happens if you get blood? Is that expected?
Wow, you were so fast I didn't even see it. So then we usually rescan to make sure it stayed.
Okay.
It usually does, but just to double check. So press and
Do you
hold the
still
button.
want to give him that much, or do we need to lower it because he's literally weighs like 800?
There you go.
Oh, good job.
Microchip to horse.
All right, little one. Be nice to my hands. Almost. Good job. Okay, there's one. I have the thing for that. You're just fine. Stop it. Gotcha. Do you want to do the vaccine, Gunner? Okie dokie.
Sure, you made her do the big tall one.
I know.
So if they're thin like this, I generally go lower because you are less likely, especially when you feel like right here it gets really soft. You can feel, it's actually kind of a fun anatomy lesson. So you can feel along here, there's a ridge. And you don't want to stick it in that when they don't have any fat.
Right.
And obviously this is your ridge, and this is your ridge, and then you can feel this right through here. And then if you push right here, feel how soft that is right in there. See how it's just like this nice, soft little center?
Yeah.
So you just find that cute, soft little center right in there, and that's
Like
where
right,
you want to
so
go.
double check that for me. Just right.
Yeah, I would go just right between those two fingers is where I would go. And make sure you do your pullback, especially as thin as he is.
Yeah.
You want to do your pullback because you don't want it in his like spine or anything.
Don't you go right? That was wonderful.
Because there is, you know, bony structures in there you don't want to hit. Beautiful.
Gotcha.
Good job, baby.
No way.
So I did this last time, so I'm gonna let you do it. Yeah. You hold and hold it the whole time. And do the other side. You can do it quicker. It's just. Yeah. Nothing. Okay. Which this is microchip.
Yep.
Cool. And you said the blue tab has to come off.
Yeah, it's just kind of a lock on there, but just when you put it in, don't like put your thumb over it. He's cute. He's kind of roaned a little bit. Yeah, I didn't do a whole dose, so it should be okay.
All right, I've never done a microchip before, so I was just watching you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, you do take it off?
So you just want to make sure it's in the nuchal ligament, which his head is kind of pulled up, so it's going to be a little bit.
Right in here.
You can kind of feel that ligament in there. If you grab both sides, that's where you want it.
Okay.
It's easier to do in bigger, fatter horses.
All right.
Blow dart.
Let's go for it.
Blow dart. Exceed needle.
There you go.
Back up. There you go. Good job.
Yep.
Good job.
Oh no, we might have to unsqueeze him.
I mean, he looks like the other one, so we'll have Dr. Lydia take a look at him. We're wrapping up intake. Everyone did really good. I think they learned a lot, and now we're getting ready to do the next thing we have planned for them. But how did you think it went, and compared to boot camp when you were here on intake?
I definitely think this went better. There's a lot more that, we can take a step back and people can learn about x-rays and how they function. And I think it was definitely more training based rather than, yeah, it's awesome. We took in 30 horses or 22 horses last time or whatever, but there wasn't a lot of hands-on stuff. Like here they're vaccinating, they're doing everything that they are gonna do at their rescue around people that know how to do it extremely well. So giving a vaccine, yeah, you can put it in any muscle, but there's certain muscles that are better. So it's certain muscles that we're used to putting it in. So it's way better organized, calmer, and more of a learning experience.
I think it's been great.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. And everybody's been on it, and everybody's been helpful, and everybody's been listening super well.
Yeah, I think intake has gone great.
Yeah, I think it was really good.
Hey, Tony, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you for a second? Not here.
Private?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Past couple days, Laura and Jess from Pennsylvania have approached me and saying, hey, do you know the winners? Are we ahead?
Wait, how did this
They came to my office.
They both came to your office?
Laura came to my office Tuesday, and then we were walking back from dinner back to the Airbnb last night.
Trying to find out if you know who's winning.
I thought it was a little bold.
Wow.